The opposite of a fairy tale is dedicated to one of my grandmothers. Later in life, her relationship with her only child deteriorated quite a bit, and she ended up being put in a nursing home. The last time I talked to her before she died, she was so sad. That was the impetus for creating the film, to talk about what elder abuse is and how we can recognize it and stop it.
Elder abuse, it consists of physical battering, financial abuse, sexual abuse, verbal abuse, emotional and psychological abuse.
So elder abuse, the signs aren't always obvious. I mean, we think of abuse, it's physical, bruises, and those signs are really hard to detect. They look a lot like aging, and so it's really hard to know that it's happening, and it's a silent epidemic. 1 in 10 seniors have been impacted by some form of abuse. Those are 60 plus. I can't even imagine the number of people who are suffering in silence. In New York State, only 1 out of 24 cases are ever reported. That means 23 seniors out of 24 are not getting services that they need. Elder abuse, it looks very similar across cultures, across populations. People's perception and understanding very much differs.
For Asians, we don't really believe that there's such a thing as elder abuse. But we don't have the same kind of Western philosophy where we focus on the individual. Here, as Asians, we focus on the family. So what matters is what's good for the family.
So if you go ask the Asian community, what do you think elder abuse is, they will probably tell you about the physical abuse. If you ask them, though, about like interpersonal things, emotional abuse, verbal abuse, financial abuse, they don't consider that to be abuse. They think of that as family conflict. It's part of the territory, obligations, and things that should be kept within the family. And so even if it's happening, they don't consider that as abuse.
So if somebody is being maltreated or neglected, which is also an elder abuse emphasis, that's not picked up because it's hurting the individual but not the family. So they don't consider that elder abuse.
Education is the key, I think, to preventing elder abuse. The work that we do is to teach seniors about signs, what sorts of resources are out there for them, and then also to educate the rest of the public about what elder abuse is. The opposite of a fairy tale is a really powerful tool, because people will read about things, about elder abuse. It doesn't bring it to life. It looks very clinical, there's signs, people can't relate to it. That film is gonna be so important in starting a conversation. And what was really unique about this as an outreach and educational tool, and an art form, is that it was looking at it from the perspective of the older person, the complex dynamics within a family, and the actual pain and suffering that they were going through.